हेलो बच्चों, कैसे हो आप सब? होप यू ऑल आर डूइंग ग्रेट। सो लास्ट क्लास में हमने क्लास 5 ईवीएस का चैप्टर फर्स्ट दैट इज वाटर द एसेंस ऑफ लाइफ को समझा था। आज हम इस चैप्टर के क्वेश्चन आंसर को डिस्कस करेंगे। ठीक है, तो चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं। हमने देखा था कि ना वाटर हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट इट इज फॉर एवरी वन ऑफ अस, right? So all living organism need water. Without water we cannot survive. ना बिना पानी के हम सरवाइव नहीं कर सकते। तो देखते हैं हमारा पहला क्वेश्चन यहाँ पे है। ये हमारा पहला क्वेश्चन है। Do you think we can drink the water present in the ocean? आप बताओ कि जो ओशन में या सी में जो वाटर होता है, क्या हम उसे पी सकते हैं? Can we drink that water? So no, we cannot drink that water. और क्यों नहीं पी सकते? Because it's salty. ना उसमें बहुत सारा salt होता है. So we cannot drink the ocean water because it contains large amount of a salt. ना हमारे बॉडी को फ्रेश वाटर की जरूरत होती है ना. अगर हम सॉल्टी वाटर पियेंगे आप बीमार पड़ जाओगे. ठीक है, सो आवर बॉडी नीड फ्रेश वाटर टू रिमेन हेल्दी एंड फंक्शन प्रॉपरली. सो नेवर ड्रिंक दैट सॉल्टी वाटर ऑफ ओशन और अ सी. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट. आवर नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज व्हाट कैन ओशन वाटर बी यूज्ड फॉर? तो इसे पीने के लिए तो यूज नहीं कर सकते. कुछ तो यूज है क्या? इस ओशन वाटर का कुछ यूज कर सकते हैं क्या? So yes, we can use this ocean water for many other purpose. हम पीने के लिए तो यूज नहीं कर सकते, but ocean water को हम other purpose के लिए यूज कर सकते हैं. जैसे कि for making salt, हम इससे salt बना सकते हैं. ट्रांसपोर्ट बाय शिप. अब देखो, जब बड़े बड़े कंटेनर, बड़े बड़े शिप्स जब सामान को एक प्लेस से दूसरे प्लेस पे ले जाते हैं, दे टेक द रूट ऑफ अ सी एंड ओशन. दे पानी का रूट लेते हैं. ठीक है, थ्रू दैट दे कैन ट्रांसपोर्ट बहुत बड़े बड़े सामान को वो इजिली ट्रांसपोर्ट कर पाते हैं बिकॉज ऑफ दिस सी एंड ओशन. Fishing, na? We get a lot of our fish from the ocean. Even so, ocean water can be used for generating electricity. हम ocean water से electricity भी generate कर सकते हैं. Even ocean water से अगर हम salt को निकाल देंगे, okay, then you can use that water for drinking. That is known as a desalination. ठीक है, जितने भी गल्फ कंट्रीज है ना, जैसे कि दुबई, कुवैत, ओमान, ये सारे गल्फ कंट्रीज में क्या है कि फ्रेश वाटर बहुत कम है. वो लोग क्या करते हैं, ये सी ओशन वाटर को डिसैलिनेशन करते हैं, यानी कि उसमें से सॉल्ट को निकाल देते हैं. जब सॉल्ट निकल गया, देन इट बिकम अ फ्रेश वाटर एंड दैट वाटर दे कैन यूज फॉर ड्रिंकिंग, फॉर ऑल देयर एक्टिविटीज दे कैन यूज दैट वाटर. ठीक है, ओके. सो मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. देखते हैं हमारा नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन क्या है. ओके, एक्टिविटी 1. वेयर कैन वी फाइंड फ्रेश वाटर? Identify the different freshwater sources from the images given below and write their name. इसमें क्वेश्चन क्या है कि from where we find the fresh water. फ्रेश वाटर हमें कहाँ से मिलता है? अब यहाँ पे कुछ सोर्सेज ऑफ वाटर दिए हैं. ठीक है, एंड यू हैव टू राइट द नेम. ठीक है, एंड इसमें से आपको आइडेंटिफाई करना है विच सोर्सेज आर द सोर्सेज ऑफ फ्रेश वाटर ना. यू कैन सी, आप देख सकते हो कि यहाँ पे कितने सारे पिक्चर्स है. ऑल दीज आर द सोर्सेज ऑफ वाटर एंड यू हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई विच आर द सोर्सेज ऑफ फ्रेश वाटर. पहला पिक्चर क्या है? ये क्या है? एक पॉन्ड, राइट? The second picture is of ocean. The third is of a glacier. ठीक है? Then fourth is lake. आप देखो यहाँ पे क्या है? ये अंडरग्राउंड में पानी है. So this is an underground water. This is a river. दिस इज वेल एंड दिस इज रेन वाटर. ठीक है. सो आप देखो विच आर द सोर्सेज ऑफ फ्रेश वाटर. अब इन दीज ऑल आर द सोर्सेज ऑफ वाटर, पर इसमें से किससे हमें फ्रेश वाटर मिलता है? सो आप देखो इन सारे प्लेसेस में हमें मिलता है फ्रेश वाटर एक्सेप्ट ओशन. ना, हमें ओशन से फ्रेश वाटर नहीं मिलता. ओके. ओके. नाउ मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Activity 2. So, in activity 2, what you have to do? Take a steel glass, put some ice cubes in it. आपको एक स्टील ग्लास लेना है, उसमें आपको क्या करना है? You have to take some ice cubes. कुछ ice cubes आपको डाल देने हैं. After 5 minutes, what you will observe? आप देखोगे कि ग्लास के बाहर you will find some tiny droplets of water. Okay, so where do these water droplets come from? So यहाँ पे water droplets कहाँ से आए ना? इसमें ग्लास में तो कोई होल नहीं है, तो फिर water droplets ग्लास के बाहर सरफेस पे कैसे आए? So water droplets come from the water vapor in the air that cools down. हमारे एयर में बहुत सारे water vapors हैं, right? जब वो इस कोल्ड ग्लास के वॉल से स्ट्राइक करते हैं, जब ये टकराते हैं, दे कंडेंस ना, वाटर वेपर कूल्स डाउन. और जब वाटर वेपर कूल्स होते हैं तो क्या होता है? इट फॉर्म्स वाटर. सो दे फॉर्म वाटर ड्रॉपलेट्स ऑन द सरफेस ऑफ द ग्लास. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट, what happens to the ice cubes after they are left in the glass for some time? अगर आप आइस क्यूब्स को उसी ग्लास में आप छोड़ दोगे ना, आफ्टर हाफ एन आवर यूल कम, आप क्या देखोगे? दो आइस हैज डिसअपियर, आइस गायब हो गए. सो आइस का क्या हुआ? आइस हैज मेल्टेड एंड टर्न्ड इनटू लिक्विड वाटर. वो सारा आइस मेल्ट होकर वाटर में चेंज हो गया. ओके. नेक्स्ट, इफ वी हीट वाटर, what will happen to it? अगर आप पानी को आप हीट करते हो तो क्या होगा? सो आप अगर पानी को स्टोव पे या रखोगे, आफ्टर सम टाइम यू विल फाइंड दैट द वाटर स्टार्ट्स टू बॉईल ना, पानी बॉईल होने लगेगा. एंड देन इट चेंजेस टू वाटर वेपर. आप देखोगे कि पानी बॉईल हो रहा है और उसके ऊपर कुछ वेपर्स निकल रहे हैं. सो व्हेन यू हीट द वाटर इट चेंजेस टू वाटर वेपर. ओके. एंड इफ यू लीव इट, आप कुछ समय उसे छोड़ दोगे, द होल वाटर विल चेंज टू वाटर वेपर. आपके पैन में पानी नहीं बचेगा. ओके. नेक्स्ट, इन द above activity, what forms of water do you see? इस एक्टिविटी में आप कितने फॉर्म्स ऑफ वाटर आप देख रहे हो? So you can see solid state, you can see liquid state, and you can see the gaseous state. So all the three forms of water you can see in the above activity, right? Okay, यहाँ पे आपको एक टेबल फिल करना है. Activity is ice melting. So what you observe? So ice is melting, slowly turns to water, right? So solid is changing to liquid. Water boiling. So when the water is boiling, water turns to water vapor. अब जब water को आप boil करोगे तो क्या होगा? Water is changing to water vapor. The liquid is changing to gas. Right? Water in sunlight for 3 days. अगर आप पानी को एक बाउल में लो और उसे सनलाइट में आप छोड़ दो 3 days के लिए, what you will observe? The water level will decrease. क्यों डिक्रीज हो रहा है? क्योंकि कुछ पानी वेपर में चेंज हो रहा है ना. So some amount of water is changing to vapor. That's why you see a decrease in the level of the water. The liquid is changing to gas, right? Okay. Now moving to the next question. Here is an activity 3. So take a transparent bag, use a marker to draw the sun, clouds, trees, arrows on it as shown in the picture. So आपको एक transparent बैग लेना है and then you have to draw sun, some clouds, tree, okay? And then you fill 1/3 of this with colored water. आपको एक छोटा सा amount of water यहाँ fill करना है and add a little bit of color. Either you can use some natural colors present in the kitchen or any color you use for your painting. You can use that also. Hmm. And tightly you have to close it. So आप ziploc bag ले सकते हो, close it and put it in the sunlight. So place it in the sunlight. After a few hours, you will find that there are some water droplets on the top of the bag. ठीक है? So आपने क्या देखा? जब आप few hours के बाद आप इस बैग को होल्ड करोगे, आप पकड़ोगे, you'll find that the water is now little bit hot. So water heats up. आपने क्या ऑब्जर्व किया? Water heats up. So आपने सोचा कि water heat कैसे हुआ? It is because of the sunlight. Na? Water has absorbed the heat of the sunlight and because of that the water is hot. ठीक है? Next. फिर आपने क्या देखा ऑब्जर्व किया? There are some water droplets formed inside the cover. ना आप देखोगे कि जिपलॉक बैग के टॉप में कुछ water droplets है. Inside that bag you can see some water droplets. So now you wonder from where do the water droplets come? ये water droplets कहाँ से आए? So यहाँ पे क्या हुआ? Water vapor. So firstly because of the heat of the sun, water gets heated. Now when the water heats, क्या होता है? It changes to water vapor. And this water vapor rises. And when it rises, it strikes with the cooler walls. Hmm. Then this water vapor changed to liquid water. Okay. That's why you can see some water drops on the top of the bag. Now, आप देखोगे कि वो water drops तो बने हैं, but आप ऑब्जर्व करोगे तो देखोगे अब धीरे धीरे water drops बड़े हो रहे हैं and then it is falling down. So आप क्या देख रहे हो? Water droplets falling back. So आप क्वेश्चन करोगे कि why do the drops are falling back like the rain? So क्यों गिर रहे हैं? Because drops are now quite heavy. Okay, they are now very heavy and they are falling down like rain. Okay, so this activity I have explained while I was explaining the chapter also. I have explained in detail, so you can go and watch the that video. Moving to the next question, activity 4. So आपको क्या करना है? You have to take a transparent glass. कोई भी आप एक प्लास्टिक ग्लास which is transparent या कि फिर ग्लास आप ले सकते हो, ठीक है? Fill half of it with soil. आपको क्या करना है? कुछ garden soil लेना है and you have to fill half of it with soil. Slowly pour water into the soil. अब slowly एक spoon आप ले लो और you have to pour little amount of water into the soil. अब spoon से अब थोड़ा थोड़ा पानी आप soil पे डालो. Observe what happens. आप ऑब्जर्व करो कि अब क्या हो रहा है जब पानी आप धीरे धीरे आप डाल रहे हो तो आप क्या देख रहे हो? So what you will observe that slowly the water is getting absorbed. आप देखोगे क्या कि पानी धीरे धीरे absorb हो रहा है, right? The soil is absorbing the water and slowly जो भी extra amount of water आएगा, it slowly moves in underground. धीरे धीरे वो bottom पे जाके it is stored as an underground water. The same thing happens in the nature. जब पानी बारिश होती है ना, soil absorb the water and all the water get into the deep in the soil and it is stored as a underground water, right? The same thing happens in the real. Hmm. And it is stored as a underground water. Hmm. Next, take the image that help in groundwater recharge. आप देखो कि इन पिक्चर्स में से अ, किस पिक्चर में you think that the water can really seeps through the surface and it goes inside the earth. आप किस पिक्चर से आप बता सकते हो कि water can get inside the earth and it will be stored as a groundwater. So आप देखो पहले पिक्चर में क्या है, it is a concrete road. आप बताओ, through the concrete road can the water seeps into the ground? क्या कंक्रीट रोड से वाटर अंदर जा सकता है? नो. ग्रीन लॉन, इट इज अ ओपन स्पेस. इट हैज अ इट इज अ surface is open, it has a soil na. So yes, through this area the water can get inside the soil. Okay, it can get inside the earth and it can recharge our groundwater. Paved area, again you see it is filled with the stones, so again it is not possible for the water to get inside the earth. Now how it will go inside? It is all paved. So it is the main problem in the cities, everywhere it is cemented, so the rainwater cannot get inside the ground easily, and that's the reason the groundwater is not getting recharged. Moving to the next question. Activity 6. You have to take a old newspaper and crumble it, and uh, over that crumble you place another sheet. Okay, and then आपको क्या करना है कि you have to allow like take some mustard seed और आपको धीरे धीरे pour करना है. ठीक है? So what you will find that the mustard seeds are not following a straight path, rather it is following a zigzag path. ah अब देखो कि you have crumble the paper, आपने पेपर को crumble कर दिया था, right? So आप जब mustard seeds pour करोगे, you will find that the mustard seeds are following different paths. अब देखो they are not following a straight path, right? It is following a different path. So it is taking the shape of the paper. ना पेपर में जहाँ जैसा path है, it is following the same path, right? It is following from the highest point to the along the slope to the lowest point. ना high point से low point की तरफ आ रहा है. The same thing happens in the river. This is how the river also flow from a high point to the low point. The river flow. Okay. So here are some questions related to this. What did you observe about the mustard seeds? आप mustard seeds के बारे में आप क्या observe कर पा रहे हो? So you can see the mustard seeds are rolling down the slope from the top to the bottom, just like the water flows from the mountains. अब देखो कोई भी river हो, they all originate from किसी mountain से वो originate होते हैं, right? And they flow down the plain land. From a high to a lower land they flow. Na? Just like you can see the mustard seeds are flowing, right? Next, are they moving in a straight line or do they spread out in different direction? आप देखो mustard seeds एक path एक straight line में flow कर रहे हैं क्या? No. So you'll find that they are spread out in different direction depending on the shape of the paper, right? Paper बहुत crumbled है, they have lot of grooves, बहुत सारे paths बन गए हैं, and mustard seeds is following the same path, right? Same thing happens with the river. रिवर में भी क्या होता है कि they don't follow a straight path. The land क्या है, land is not a very straight, they have lots of zigzags and river follow all those paths. Are they collecting in some areas? So yes, you can see the mustard seeds are collecting in some areas. You see, mustard seeds are getting collected in some areas. You see, some areas a lot of seeds are there. Some it is very less, right? So yes, you can see the seeds are collected in low areas, just like the water gathers in the rivers, ponds, lakes. ना जैसे कि जब rivers flow करती हैं तो low lying areas में water ज़्यादा होता है, right? They get collected in the low lying areas, okay, in the form of rivers, lakes, right? Next, discuss on the basis of activity 6 with mustard seeds, discuss how some rivers flow towards the Arabian Sea while some flow towards the Bay of Bengal. So, मैं जब डिस्कस कर रही थी तो आप then I have told you like there are a lot of rivers in India, na? And some rivers flow in the Bay of Bengal and some flow to the Arabian Sea. बहुत सारे rivers हैं, कुछ rivers Bay of Bengal में flow करती हैं and कुछ rivers Arabian Sea में flow करती हैं, right? So most of the rivers find out करोगे कि most of the rivers they are flowing in the Bay of Bengal. And the reason is that कि हमारे जो western घाट्स है ना, so the western घाट्स are uh, higher compared to the eastern ghats. ठीक है? They have a natural slope. The natural slope is from west to east. So क्या होता है कि most of the rivers they start from the western ghats. वो कहाँ से start होती है? Western region से and they flow towards the eastern side. And that's the reason they flow into the Bay of Bengal. ठीक है? So the river flow according to the slope and the shape of the land. River कैसे flow करती है? They flow according to the slope and the shape of the land. It follow the natural slope of the land. ना land का जो natural slope है, they follow that. Just like the mustard seeds. In India, some rivers flow eastward towards the Bay of Bengal, while some others flow westward towards the Arabian Sea. ना कुछ rivers east में flow करती हैं and some rivers flow towards the west. Okay. 7. So here you can see in the map you can see the rivers flowing in different direction. Some flow in the Bay of Bengal and some into the Arabian Sea. So मैंने बताया ना कि there are a lot of rivers in India. बहुत सारे rivers हैं इंडिया में and some flow into the Bay of Bengal and some move towards the Arabian Sea. So आपको कुछ rivers के नाम लिखने हैं. Okay, and you have to tell that which rivers flow towards the Bay of Bengal and which river flow towards the Arabian Sea. Okay, so like Godavari, Narmada, Ganga, we have other rivers also like Krishna, Kaveri. Hmm. So let's see where they flow. Hmm. So Godavari. So Godavari, it moved towards the Bay of Bengal. Okay. Narmada, it moved towards the Arabian Sea. Ganga, it moved towards the Bay of Bengal. Brahmaputra, it moves towards the Bay of Bengal. Tapti, it moves into the Arabian Sea. Krishna, it moves towards the Bay of Bengal. So, इसको याद करने का बहुत simple trick है. All the river flow towards the Bay of Bengal except two rivers, Narmada and Tapti. अब देखो नर्मदा एंड ताप्ती दे फ्लो टुवर्ड्स द अरेबियन सी. ये दो मेजर रिवर्स हैं जो कि अरेबियन सी में फॉल करती हैं. ठीक है. ऑल द अदर रिवर्स दे फ्लो टुवर्ड्स द बे ऑफ बंगाल. ओके. नाउ moving to the next question. So now here we have to fill this table. We have to find the difference between the animals who are living on the land and the animals living in water. So जो animals land पे रहते हैं, so how they breathe? They breathe through their lungs, right? They breathe through their lungs. And the animals who are living in water, how they breathe? They breathe through their gills or skin, right? Animals who are living on land, they cannot breathe in water, right? They cannot breathe in water. And the animals who live in water, they have a fins to swim. Okay, they have a fins to swim. The animals living on land, how they walk? They use their legs to walk or run. Animals living in water, they use their fins and tail to move, right? Animals living on land, they have a fur or a hair on their body. But the animals who are living in water, they have scales or smooth skin, right? Animals living on land, they can live easily on the land, but who live in water, they need some pond, river, ocean. They need the water is their home. Hmm. So the animals who are living on the land, they have a very strong bones to support their weight. But the animals who are in water, they have a lighter bodies to float or swim easily. Okay, so you can write more and other features which you find present in the animals living on land and the animals living in water. Okay, activity 8. Visit a local water body like pond, lake or an aquarium with your teacher or a parents and observe life in and around the water body. तो आपको क्या करना है? Near to your home, ना? Just find out if there is a lake or a pond or an aquarium. Go with your teacher or a parents and observe what are the animals, plants living around that water body, ना? कौन से plants or animals उस water body के आसपास रह रहे हैं? And try to fill this in this table. Like the name of the bird or animal. आपने कौन सा bird या animal देखा? How is their mouth structure? How they move? They have a legs, feet, fins, and a rough diagram. Okay, like a fish. How the shape of the mouth or a beaks? So they have a round mouth, fish facing upward. How they move? They move with the help of their fins and tail. Next, you can easily find this bird, pond heron. They have a long and pointed beaks. You see, long and pointed beak, and they have a very thin legs to walk. Frog, ना आप frog तो बहुत easily find out कर सकते हो. They have a wide mouth and they have a webbed feet. Through that they can easily swim in water. Duck, they have a flat beak and they also have a webbed feet so that they can swim. Turtle, they have a small mouth, they have a short legs with the webbed feet. इनके legs तो काफी छोटे होते हैं and they have a webbed feet. So these are turtles. You can write more if you find more animals in the living in the pond or a lake near your house. You can write it down. Next. Now, आपने कुछ animals देखा, वहाँ पे कुछ plants भी होंगे. So you have to write the name of the plants also. Plants floating above the water, like a lily. Yeah? You can see the lily is floating above the water. So, what is the name and what is the local name? So, the local name of a lily is Kumudini. Plants under the water. ना कुछ ऐसे plants होते हैं जो completely submerged होते हैं under the water. So, like a tape grass. And local name of the tape grass is Savala. आप देखोगे कि other language में तेलुगु, तमिल, मराठी, these are known by different names. Okay. So you can write the local names, what the people call these plants in your language. ठीक है? Plants whose roots are in the water bed but are seen above the water. So it is the lotus. Lotus के roots क्या होते हैं? They are fixed in the bottom of the pond or a lake, but the plant is seen above the water, right? Or local name in Hindi we call it Kamal, right? Next, this is activity 9. Take a piece of a paper and put a drop of water on it. Observe. आप एक piece of paper ले लो and put some drops of water on it. What you will observe? The paper will uh, absorb the water, right? Paper water को absorb करने के बाद you will find that it is uh, now very soft, right? And it can wrinkled, right? And you can easily tear it also. Now easily आप देखोगे वो फट रहा है, right? Now again on this, take another piece of a paper and put a wax crayon on it. ठीक है? Now color the paper with the wax crayon and again put a drop of water on it. अभी आप देखोगे water is not observed. Okay, water is not absorbed. पानी पेपर जो है पानी को absorb नहीं कर रहा है. And you can see these as a water droplets present on the surface of the paper. ठीक है? So अगर पानी absorb नहीं हो रहा है, it is not soaking the water. आप देखोगे पेपर डैमेज नहीं हो रहा है ना. लाइक इन अर्लियर केसेस आप देखोगे कि वो पानी को एब्जॉर्ब कर ले रहा है एंड यू कैन इजीली टीयर इट, है ना. But here the water is not absorbed. You cannot tear it. Okay. The same thing happens with the leaves. So the plants which are living in the water, they have a waxy coating on their leaves. Okay. So this waxy coating on the leaves protect them from the water damage. Okay. So when we place a drop of water on a plain piece of a paper, the paper absorbs the water and becomes wet or wrinkled. But when the paper is colored with a wax crayon, the water does not soak into it. Instead, the water stays on the surface as a small round drop. Okay, so this is what I have explained. Next, we have some question and answer. So match the following. The first question, match the following. Ocean water. So आप देखो किससे match होगा? Ocean water. So I guess ocean water is not fit for drinking, right? Snow. Snow is a solid form of water, right? Steam. So steam is a vapor form of water, right? And rainwater. Rainwater is a fresh water, right? It is a source of a fresh water. So we have matched it. So for matching, what you can do is that आप question लिखो and write the correct option in front of it like this. Ocean water not fit for drinking. Snow, solid form of water. Steam, vapor form of water. Rain water, fresh water. So आप सामने लिखोगे, okay, because it's become very easy to understand ना. अगर आप ऐसे match करोगे line draw करके, it become very clumsy. It doesn't look good. Okay. Next. Why do you think most of the water on earth cannot be used for drinking or farming? आपने देखा ना. So major portion 71% of the earth is covered with water. ठीक है? But most of the water cannot be used for drinking or farming. Why? Because most of the water on the earth is salty. It is present in the sea and the ocean, which is not suitable for drinking or farming. Okay. Next question. Large number of living beings live near water bodies. Why? आप देखोगे कि बहुत सारे जो लिविंग बींग्स हैं वो पानी के किनारे रहना पसंद करते हैं. Why? चाहे वो एनिमल्स हो या बर्ड्स हो, they want to live near the water bodies. कोई भी water bodies है, अगर लेक है, pond है, river है. So large number of living beings live near water bodies because living beings need water for drinking. चाहे कोई भी living beings है, हाँ, They all need water for drinking, either it's a bird or animal, everyone needs water for drinking. Water bodies also provide food such as a fish and aquatic plants. अब देखो सिर्फ पानी नहीं, water bodies also provide them food. Like आप देखो कि like a bear like to live near the river so that they can easily catch fresh fishes. ना वो fresh fishes easily catch कर सकते हैं. So many birds also like to eat fish. So they can catch the fish from the pond, river. So the water bodies provide them food also, like fish, aquatic plants, and also it acts as an habitat for many birds and animals. So अब देखो कि they are providing food, water, okay, and also it act as a habitat for many birds and animals. वो बहुत सारे animals and birds का वो एक घर है, like crocodile, frog, fishes. They all like to live in water. It is their home. Next question. What would happen if it did not rain in your region for 2 years? आप इमेजिन करो कि 2 साल से आपके एरिया में बारिश नहीं हुई है. सो क्या होगा? सो if rain didn't happen for 2 years, there could be several consequences. आप देखो जब बारिश नहीं होती है तो क्या होगा? There will be a shortage of water. ना पानी की कमी हो जाएगी. There will be a drought situation. चारों तरफ सूखा होगा. ना drought means चारों तरफ सूखा होगा. There will be no water. All the ponds, rivers, lakes will all dried up. The groundwater, there will be no groundwater. Okay, so there will be a drought situation. There will be water shortage. ना पानी ही नहीं होगा. Crops will die. अब crops को grow करने के लिए तो पानी चाहिए. There is no water. Crops will die. And if there is no crops, there will be a food shortage. ना we are getting food from the plants. अब plants नहीं grow कर रहे हैं. There will be a food shortage. Humans and animals would struggle due to the lack of water. चाहे वो humans हो या animals हो, everyone will struggle na, due to lack of water. So the consequences will be very bad. Next, what do you think happens to rainwater in a forest compared to a city? अब जब बारिश होती है, so what do you think कि how the rainwater, what happens to the rainwater in the forest and what happens to the rainwater in a city? ना बारिश तो हर जगह हो रही है, तो जो रेन वाटर जब फॉरेस्ट पे गिर रहा है तो उसका क्या होगा? एंड रेन वाटर, व्हाट हैपेंस टू द रेन वाटर इन द सिटी? So in the forest, rainwater soaks into the ground easily. अब forest में क्या होगा? There is an open space, so the rainwater can easily soaks into the ground, which helps to recharge the groundwater. Now, while in cities, cemented surfaces stop water from entering the soil. अब cities में everywhere it is cemented. ना either buildings है या the roads are cemented, so the water cannot get inside the ground, right? So as a result क्या होगा? All the rain water flows rapidly, causing waterlogging and lowering water groundwater recharge. अब water तो soak नहीं हो रहा है, so all the water they goes to the drains and it causes waterlogging. Suddenly if there is a rain, water is not getting absorbed, तो क्या होगा कि there will is a waterlogging and the water is not getting inside the ground, so there is a shortage of groundwater, lowering the groundwater table. क्या हो रहा है? कम हो रहा है. Next, can you design a house or a school that conserve water wisely? आप कुछ ऐसा डिजाइन कर सकते हो क्या? House or a school that can conserve the water. What could it include? अगर आप डिजाइन कर सकते हो तो आप क्या क्या इंक्लूड करोगे? सो यस, वी कैन डिजाइन अ वाटर फ्रेंडली हाउस और a स्कूल. सो आप क्या करोगे? आप एक सोक पिट बना सकते हो दैट विल हेल्प टू रिप्लेनिश द ग्राउंड वाटर. वो ग्राउंड वाटर को रिचार्ज करेगा ना थ्रू द सोक पिट. द रेन वाटर कैन गेट इनसाइड द अर्थ. रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग सिस्टम. सो आप जितने भी टेरेस का वाटर, हाँ, एंड द road water, we can allow all this water to get inside the earth so that it can recharge our groundwater. We can also create some storage tanks ना, जहाँ पे बारिश का पानी स्टोर करके रख सकते हैं. Even you can uh, uh, clean the waste water, okay, and then you can use that water again. ओपन गार्डन, आप ओपन गार्डन कुछ रखो. स्मॉल एरिया इन योर हाउस और स्कूल शुड हैव अ ओपन गार्डन वेयर सॉइल कैन एब्जॉर्ब द वाटर. यहाँ पे सॉइल क्या करेगा? वाटर को एब्जॉर्ब कर लेगा. वेज टू रीयूज और रिसाइकिल वाटर. सो आप कुछ ऐसा सिस्टम आप बना सकते हो जहाँ की वी कैन रीयूज और रिसाइकिल द वाटर ना, जितना भी पानी, किचन वाटर, that water we can clean it again and use it na. So we have to recycle or reuse the water. So this way we can save the water, right? So I guess we have discussed all the question answer of this chapter. Okay, so there's last question, question number 7. Let us make a fish by folding a piece of a paper. ना आपको एक, you have take a piece of a paper and try folding the paper and it will turn to a fish. Okay, try making it. It's a fun activity. So yes, with this we have covered all the question answer of this chapter. So hope you have enjoyed the class. So please do like, share and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next class. Till then, bye. Take care.